Hey y'all, welcome to SoulsReaper Healing. I'm doing a collective energy reading for air signs, and let's get started. First card out, Sacred Geometry Oracle, was number 5, Throat Chakra. The frequency of the throat chakra, the blue flower of life, supports our self-expression and our sense of peace and balance. Notice there's a little bit of blue right here and here. You guys also have some synchronicities going on with this. It's a number 8. 2 and 6 equals 8. 4 is half of 8. And then this card that came out with the Black Moon Astrology is also an 8, which is Chiron, healing. Or Chiron. Not for sure the actual correct way to say that. I've heard different readers say it different ways, Chiron and Chiron. I say Chiron. Right now Chiron is in Aries. Chiron is the wounded healer. That's the space in your birth chart. Wherever your Chiron is, that will tell you what your wound is. A specific wound that you are working on in this lifetime. But that is also a number 8. Sorry guys, I'm just looking at this picture. I'll let you guys look at that Chiron card. Is there anything within this image that stands out to you? Because each one of us has different wounds that we're working on. Like I said, there is quite a bit of synchronicities. If you're seeing 8s and 4s, you also have an 11 on the board and a 9. But it seems like the majority, as far as synchronistic, is 8. 3 8s and a 4. The 2 cards that came out for the numerology guidance oracle, the first one was individuality at number 11. And the second one that came out was a 26, love partnership, which also equals an 8. And then the 3 that came out from the Soul's Journey Oracle, trust, I accept that my inner voice will always guide me correctly. Sorry if you guys can hear that in the background. I have a new fur baby, and she's acclimated to the people in the house. She's just not acclimated to the males. Because she's a female, so she's not all that impressed with the males in the household. Forgiveness. I acknowledge that harboring resentment blocks the flow of love. This was the second card that came out. And it's in the center of the spread, so this is kind of the core, subconscious. The next one is empathy. I am open to seeing both sides of a situation. We've all been through many things in this lifetime, and a lot of us previous lifetimes. So we're able to see from both sides. Having the ability to have different perspectives is important and imperative. Now, on the bottom of the sacred geometry was number 8, alchemy. The frequency of alchemy activates our magical ability and remembrance of the magic that we all hold inside. Each one of us has the potential to access the ancient knowledge that allowed the true alchemist to perform the miracles of transmutation. And that's on the bottom of that sacred geometry. On the bottom of the Black Moon Astrology was number 40, water element sensing. Force or stability, stability within self, or just your, as far as your 3D life, stability within your household, with life in general. To me, it's also balance, because if you know the, those of you that are watching, if you know the tarot, the Four of Wands is 2 posts on each side, which makes it a square, right? And they're placed to where they're stable, right? It creates an archway, or I don't know the exact word for that, but it's just like they do with, you know, buildings and stuff like that. They're equally balanced, all 4 posts. So to me, that is also balancing. And then with this water, that water is our emotion. So with Chiron card being up here and healing, and the water element being right below that, you're balancing and healing that aspect of your emotions, being able to sense different things that are going on around you, understanding the emotions within yourself. Excuse me, guys. Okay. Balancing emotions within yourself. With this 9, completion, which is what's on the bottom of the numerology deck, it was a number 9, completion. I'm sure a lot of you would like to see that, knowing that you have completed a cycle. And with that healing up there, healing, sensing, and completing, that's the balance. It's kind of like any process you do. If you're working a job, if you're going through the stages of the things that you do each day, are they balancing out? Because it's showing here that air signs, you're healing, sensing, and completing. So you've healed with Chiron, Chiron and Aries right now. You're healing, or have healed, something within yourself that had to do with emotion. And you completed a cycle with that. I feel like it's being more in touch with your emotions, not blocking your emotions, not being afraid to show your emotion. being more aware of other people's emotions and being able to differentiate between your own emotions and another's. Also being able to differentiate between your own energy and another's energy. Because as a lot of you know, those of you that are on this channel, people who are empaths absorb other people's emotions, feelings, aches, pains, etc., etc., until we get to a state to where we understand how to protect ourselves, how to understand which emotions are your own and which emotions are not yours. And then on this side with your throat chakra, in alignment with this row here, I feel like you're opening up, and I don't mean to say you are, I mean to say us, because I am part of this collective. We all have air, fire, earth, and water in our charts. So I myself am resonating with this as well, because the ones that are drawn to this channel and a couple other channels are probably drawn to similar people on this journey, because we're in specific, we're drawn to certain people in order to receive the messages that we need to receive. So with this throat chakra card, I feel like we are opening up to speaking who we truly are, and alchemy being right below that. That's the, when I see the alchemy card, I think of the Sagittarius card. I believe it's the Temperance card, where she's pouring. I think that's the Temperance card. Let me know if I'm wrong on that, but it's where she's pouring the cups in the water. She has two different cups, and that's the vision I get in my head when I see the alchemy card. But you're, with the throat chakra, you're being able to speak the things that you haven't spoke before, because you felt, you know, that was a wound that was being healed. You felt that you weren't being heard, or that you wouldn't be heard if you spoke your truth. And now you're balancing that. And with this fear card below, I realize that I am testing my resolve to live in the energy of love. You're balancing out how you say things, how you approach things. Basically, it's, like I said, I felt balance with this card here. It's balancing everything that you've got within your life, your 3D external life and your internal self. Balancing your emotions. You know, with this completion of this was something that you had to address, to open your emotions, to be able to utilize your emotions from a more pure state, not a wounded state, not a state of false belief. So sorry if I kind of go in. I don't have a specific order that I read these. I just go with what I feel and what I'm channeled to give. I give to you. So try to stick with me here, guys. With this individuality card being here, trust is right below it. And the trust card says, I accept that my inner voice will always guide me correctly. So I feel like, air signs, we are in this space to where we're stepping into our individual power. From a healed state, understanding that, and trusting within our own abilities, ourself, knowing that we don't have to feel like we need another's approval of who we are. What did I hear? Oh, that just popped into my head. Cat Williams, if you guys have ever seen stand up, where he's talking about self-esteem, and I can't remember exactly what he said, but that just popped into my head, where he was like, self-esteem, you know, how can I help you with self-esteem, because that's about yourself, you know. And that's kind of what popped into my head just then, with the individuality card. But we're stepping into this space to where we're not having this fear anymore of being ourselves, trusting in the guidance that you receive, having faith. You know, with forgiveness and empathy, having forgiveness, having the ability to see both sides of a situation, balancing all of these things. And forgiveness is in the core of this, in the subconscious mind, because we are all in this space right now where we are allowing forgiveness to flow over us, forgiveness of ourselves, because we are very hard on ourselves. We're our own worst enemy, honestly. We can beat ourselves up more than anyone, and until we step out of that space, we continue to do the same over and over again. And that's when this completion came in, because you're changing the way that we are addressing things, the way that we're responding with our emotions and our head. It's a balance, an overall balance within self. So I have a feeling that you guys are noticing that you're not responding to things the same way. Probably pulling away from TV shows, movies, music, people in your environment, tarot readers, different aspects in your life. And I know I've gone through that same process when this last month, I did a reading, a collective reading about taking a time out, and it was kind of synchronistic the way that worked out, because I did take a time out for my own healing and some things that I needed to address. But now we're in this Capricorn energy, and there's a lot of things that are changing, and a lot of people are in this space of forgiveness, because right now is the time to release, to make space for new. Can't put old wine into new wineskins. You know, you have to release old energies, old beliefs, old patterns, in order to make space for the new energies to come in. And air signs, that's what you're doing. You're being forgiving of yourself, but you're also forgiving others, because you now see, you now see both sides of the situation. We know that we are creators, and we know that we manifest things into our lives to show us, to remind us of things that we may have forgotten, or things that we didn't see within ourselves, or maybe we did see and we just didn't want to face it. But we're forgiving and having gratitude towards others that have brought that to your attention, or brought that to your understanding, to where you have a new outlook. The video I did previous to this one about shadow work talks about how we're seeing others now in our lives as compared to how we were before, when we were stuck in a victim consciousness, believing everything was happening to us, not for us. Now we're seeing that things are happening for our highest good. You know, and that's another affirmation you can use. You know, I am creating things for my highest good. I am allowing new things for my highest good. However you would like to utilize that affirmation. Now over here you do have this love partnership 62, which equals an 8. Honestly, I feel like, because what this is, it talks about empathy. This is the balance within yourself, love within yourself, and I'm sure a lot of you have this understanding. We can't truly, authentically love another person until we have that true, authentic love of ourselves. So when we are loving of ourselves and respecting ourselves and treating ourselves the way that we know we deserve to be treated, then that energy can be projected outside of us, and that draws in another person that is meant to be in your life for your next part of the journey. And I feel like that's what this love partnership is. It's also, you know, balancing of, with it being next to alchemy, I kind of feel like, yeah, it is the balance of masculine and feminine within yourself. And it is possible that there could be a partnership, air signs coming into your life, because it's empathy. I'm open to seeing both sides of the situation. It is possible, but I'm not gonna go too much onto that, because the things I focus on my channel is I want to be able to help the collective with the shadow work that is being done, the shadow aspects that we're working on, because if we don't focus on the things within ourselves, then whatever wounds we still have that we haven't worked on will project outside it, and we will draw in that same lesson over and over and over again, and that creates you know, it's a cyclical pattern, it's a cycle. But with this channel, that's why I want to help you guys understand and help you on your journey to healing these things and changing the patterns. And then as we do that, then the people that are meant to be in our lives for our highest good will then start to appear as we go through this process. But my focus is not about relationships on this channel as far as outside of yourself. This channel is for internal healing of self, working on finding who you are, weeding out, you know, the old weeds, the old patterns, the old beliefs, and coming back to the true, authentic self. So, anyways, sorry I went on that little rant there, guys. But this is what I have for air signs. It looks like you guys have completed a cycle in some healing that you're working on. I'm going to read that Chiron, Chiron, I don't know why I keep saying Chiron, Chiron healing card, number 8, and just see if it has any little extra tidbits of information that we need to hear. Okay, number 8 is in the tarot. It is the Hangman. Healing process, contemplation, medicine, illness, grief, redemption. Okay. Let's see. Chiron is the Greek word for man-horse. In myth, Chiron, the centaur, the wisest of all creatures, was the wounded healer and self-enlightened shaman. He was wounded in the flank and was almost crippled, but was rehabilitated from his wounds and sickness to pursue the healing arts through the guidance of Apollo, god of light. For astrologers, Chiron has a special purpose as a bridge between the inner and outer planets, a bridge between the animal and the human, the wisdom that lies in both life forms. So kind of like I was talking about with that water sensing, I feel like it's a balance, and that's what it's talking about, the balance bridge between the inner and outer planes. In the chart, Chiron's place shows transition, linking the mundane to the extraordinary. The heavenly body takes us on a journey through our darkness, where we pass through to the next side with strengths we did not realize we had until we passed through the black place. Chiron has a relationship to the 2 astrological signs of Virgo, health and physical well-being, and Sagittarius, consciousness and spiritual well-being. Chiron lords over matters of health, illness, and disease, and especially how they relate to our personal journey through life. One must see darkness before there is light. One must experience sickness before there is lasting health. Chiron also represents resurrection, so has some relationship to the Christ figure as the wounded healer. This is a card of great transformation, therefore in many ways you are rising from the swamps. Chiron's energy says that once we are able to heal ourselves, we can also take this gift or wound and learn how to restore others. We can mend our wounds when we embrace, process, and understand the gift of illness or dysfunction. Chiron is also an expert in alchemy. I didn't even know those two work together, but they did come out together, which gives us the ability to transform the mundane into the marvelous. Chiron is a blending of the energies of Saturn and Uranus, meaning just don't throw out the old. There is wisdom there, but you should also embrace the bold and the new. In keeping with this, Chiron also governs quantum physics, medicine, and astrology. When this card turns up in a reading, it can indicate health matters or the issues of a medical nature may be of concern. This matter may have to do with health concerns, most especially any emotional healing that is needed. That was something I mentioned, emotional, because it's water. Let's see. At this time, you may find yourself visiting or having interactions with health facilities or any place that has to do with the healing of body, mind, or spirit. This is also a time of teaching and learning, so schools may figure into this matter. Certain sorrows of the deep past may be surfacing, so be careful of repeating old patterns. These will tend to resurface unless faced directly, and if not faced, the pain will continue. This is an awakening time where you can resolve things. The symbol for Chiron is a key, and this card says you have the key to open the right doors at your asking. To do this, you will have to work with the wounded or the downtrodden in some way. So if this is true, it is now time to save yourself and others. Hanged Man. Wow. So yeah, that they all tied in very nicely together. So air signs, balancing, healing, trusting the guidance, having empathy, not being afraid to speak. Let your voice be heard, air signs. And I hope you guys have a beautiful day. And I thank you for joining me today. And I will talk to you guys later.